ever take advantage of some innocent animal. Wanted to provide a couple updates today, and then I'll turn it over to our wonderful state attorney to talk a little bit about the prosecutorial phase and some of what we're seeking now. Elizabeth James is who's arrested. She's a 22-year-old. And about 5 years ago, she started dating the owner, Maya, the 9-year-old Siberian Husky. The owner has a son, and the son recently in August said, "Mom, can my girlfriend move in?" She's known her, Elizabeth, for over 5 years, so didn't think much about it. Sure, she can move in. Well, it's not too long after that we believe that she started terrorizing this animal, this innocent, sweet and loving Siberian Husky. In February, from August to February, we believe there's some abuse. In February, these signs start manifesting themselves. The owner has to take the dog to the vet because she has some lacerations to the head. Can't figure out quite where these lacerations came from. In March, she's back because she has a twisted toenail, almost like it was hit with some type of trauma. And at one point, it was even mentioned that like someone tried to remove the toenail. So again, thinking what is happening? This owner of the dog, this sweet dog, saying what's going on here? But still, okay, maybe she's running around. There still could be some explanation for maybe these injuries. April 13th, she has to go take her sweet puppy back to the vet this time because she's bleeding from the head. A laceration that's so deep that it required 6 staples to help that wound heal. At this point, she becomes suspect. She has a discussion with her son, with his living girlfriend. Anyone know anything about this? Nothing. She still feels pretty comfortable that no one here, couldn't fathom in a million years that either one of them, especially her son that grew up with this animal, could ever harm this animal, but still was baffled what could cause this type of injury. Now she's becoming very, very suspect. April 17th, she goes back to the vet, and Maya's limping, really having trouble walking, and the vet is doing some checking and sees some signs of internal injuries. And that's when the vet says, "Hey, listen, there's no other explanation. There has to be some type of abuse in this family. And I know you're in denial, like most of us would be. You need to set up a camera." So she decides that she's going to set up a camera to see if there's anything happening. Well, Monday, the camera that she sets up, the alert goes off. And as you could imagine, to her surprise, she's watching this video that we released, and she's watching this abuse, using the dog as a battle rope, using this mallet, this rubber mallet to just strike her dog time after time after time. And one of the announcements I'm making here today is I've decided to release the whole 18-minute video. When our deputies went out that day, now that our detectives are involved, and after she was arrested, we decided to go back and do a little deeper dive. So looking at the digital forensic, this is an 18-minute video. If the short snippet we had at the beginning and we released wasn't enough to just incense you, wait until you watch the 18-minute video to where she tries to clean all the blood up and tries to clean her tracks up to make sure that no one would ever suspect that it's her that's abusing this poor little puppy. At the same time, our detectives have been working hard. As you can imagine, we're working very closely with the State Attorney Lopez and the State Attorney's Office. We have filed a motion for enjoinment. And what that is to ensure that Elizabeth James is never, ever able to adopt a dog or be around a dog in Hillsborough County. We also are working with the State Attorney's Office to file an addition and an addendum to that enjoinment, is to make sure that in the state of Florida, that Elizabeth James will never, ever be able to own another pet. Miss James, you're going to learn at the ripe age of 22 that we as a community, we as a society will never tolerate anyone taking advantage or terrorizing or injuring a poor, innocent animal, you will feel the full weight of the criminal justice system in Hillsborough County. I did want to talk real quick just about some of the injuries, to clarify some of the injuries. Now, as we know, most of us being dog lovers, dogs are resilient. They're hardy dogs. Dogs can tolerate a lot. That's why they roughhouse and it scares us, and it's nothing to them. Over the almost 32 years that I've been in law enforcement, I've seen dogs hit by cars, and we've taken them to the vet and they have nothing. And you're like, there's no way this dog has to be injured. These dogs are resilient. So imagine, the reason I'm saying this is imagine the blunt force trauma that this poor Maya, this 9-year-old husky, had to endure, that she had spinal injuries, that she has fractured ribs, some already in the healing process because she was abused before, a broken jaw. Maya can't even eat normal dog food. She has to now eat soft food to the point that she has to eat hard-boiled eggs. It's all that she can eat to sustain her right now. And a broken orbital socket. She is now blind in one eye, permanently blind. I say this because just take pause for a second and imagine the blunt force trauma that this poor puppy had to endure, that she has these type of serious and permanent injuries. At this time, I'll turn it over to our state attorney, Susan Lopez.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'm a dog person. I have 2 dogs at home. Many of the assistant state attorneys and support staff in my office are dog owners and dog lovers. My office has a renewed focus on victims since I came into office 9 months ago. All victims. Children, the elderly, and animals are our most vulnerable populations. Ms. James has been charged, as the sheriff said, with aggravated animal cruelty with a weapon. That is a second-degree felony, which is punishable by up to 15 years in the Florida State Prison. I am proud that our office has a dedicated assistant state attorney. This assistant state attorney is dedicated to all animal cruelty cases. She serves as a resource not only for the intake process, but also as a resource to animal services, to any investigating law enforcement agencies, and eventually to the prosecutor who will take this case through the criminal justice system to get justice for beautiful Maya, who on her 9th birthday, this beautiful Siberian Husky, was injured, blinded, and suffered all of the other injuries that Sheriff Chronister discussed. My office, as I said, stands with victims, including sweet Maya, and we will not tolerate any abuse to any of the vulnerable members of our population. Thank you very much.
At this time, State Attorney Lopez and I are available for any questions.
Clarify the relationship. Were they ever married at any point?
No, not married. They, Ms. James had been dating her son for 5 years. So she didn't think it was anything after all that time to, hey, you mind if my girlfriend moves in? I think it's, you feel like you know somebody. How about after thinking you know somebody after 5 years? That's why I think it was so hard for her to fathom that anyone inside the house that was causing these injuries.
Did she say why she did this?
Well, she tried to say because the dog growls at her. I don't think that holds water. Number one, that's not a good enough reason. But number two, I was getting an update from the investigators, and the detective, when he got there, picked her up and was hugging her and kissing her, and the dog is the most loving dog. I don't think the dog's ever growled at anybody or anyone, nonetheless her. So, but again, if the dog was growling, maybe the dog, they always say, has a sixth sense. Maybe the dog knew that she wasn't a good person from the beginning.
How long was the abuse again?
We believe it started, she moved in August, and in February is when the dog's owner had to start taking her to the vet. Started noticing that she was suffering some injuries, that she was a little lethargic, that something wasn't right with her.
That's a long time.
Long time, and that's why this is so important as we do this deeper dive. Yes, she's out on $7,500 bond. She's never been arrested for anything else. It was a misdemeanor traffic infraction that she has in her criminal history. But we're now doing a deeper dive, working very closely now with the state attorney's office. Yes, she's been charged with this one count. Now we'll go back and do a deeper dive. We'll go back and link this previous abuse up to her. Don't be surprised if you get an update here in the near future that she's been charged with additional or multiple counts of aggravated animal abuse.
I see a lot of people make the connection between animals and humans. A lot of people, when they watch the story, I've seen the comment of, could she have done this to people? Are you guys worried about that?
Try it one more time.
Are you worried that she could have done this to people if she's capable of doing this to a dog?
Yeah, you're exactly right. If you can, Madam State Attorney Susan Lopez said it perfectly. You take an oath. You take an oath to make sure that you protect the most vulnerable. Those are elderly. Those are children and innocent animals. I tell you that the family's already filed a petition against her, and the state attorney's working closely to make sure that that petition, this temporary petition's granted, and on a more permanent. She's already made threats against the family. So I don't think it'll come to surprise also that I inform you that the son is now single.
Is there any history of mental illness with her?
Not that we've been made aware of. That the state attorney's office will certainly take a deeper look at that, but not that we've been made aware of. No signs that, again, that nothing that would throw up a red flag that this dog was being abused by anyone for any reason. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Ooh, I just started to get really mad again.